Okay, hello again. This is Linnea, and I'm here in Helsinki again in the same place I've been these past couple of weeks and even before that. So I'm at the Olympic Terminal. That's why there's seagulls making noise all the time. But I have the same introduction as to the two previous videos on the same topic. So we're talking about Knives Out, the Netflix film, and the man who inspired the film. This book is all about Matti Volvo Markkanen, the most famous criminal in the Nordics. Well, I'm not sure if that's completely true, but he's up there. He's like one of the most famous ones. Bank robber, that is to say, and trained by the KGB as a spy, and also worked for a Parisian terrorist group because of his wife who was murdered. I knew him when he lived in Helsinki towards the end of his life. Okay, so that's the backstory to why I'm still talking about this film, because I went through the film, those parts which I had instigated. And it is about halfway through that I got. And then after that, they have just filled in the storyline, which is fantastic. It is fantastic work, and I am so grateful. It is completely amazing. So, again, thank you guys for making the film. We couldn't be happier. He wasn't looking forward to the evening because he had decided to do it on a positive night. So the birthday acts as a plot device to make it clear that it is a positive night. She can feel the unnoticeable difference in the liquids as a plot device I came up with to make her a sleuth and a brilliant mind, too. Playing life like a game without consequence is obviously a reference to his son's criminal life, so a reference to himself at the same time. So the son of Matti is also a convicted former criminal. Okay. Not knowing the difference between a stage prop and a real knife is a reference to that kind of conversations we had. So we would talk about these kind of issues. What is good life and all sorts of issues like that. He didn't fear death. He closed his book with a flourish. The good stuff I added as another reference to sex and his stating that he became a morphine user as a middle-aged man. He needed to write things like that down all the time. 10 minutes, just a plot device. I have no idea how drugs work. Okay? He says naxy stuff just to make sure that he also doesn't know how they work. The mother being paperless here is a plot device so that she has a family to think about other than his family. I do not have any family. I'm all about his family in the sense that this is just a plot device. He also was very much on the side of immigrants, so this matches that, and that's why Marta is an immigrant. I came up with the elephant being there because of my colleagues at the University Department of Culture Studies and the statues of animals because of his understanding for pomp. She needed a mission from him because that's what I got from him. So she sets out to prove her innocence, which turns out to be a backward play of guilt. But that's how it went in real life. I cannot explain it better than this play of characters. More times than I can count have I tried to reminisce about our conversations in the way she does here, the afterfor of the carved elephant, so that's why I added that. The side yard path idea just came from the dogs being there, so it must be a real estate, I thought. The dogs love her because she is so lovely, but also because dogs love me. His neighbor had a Rottweiler who just adored me, and I went inside explaining to him how difficult of a time I had had being unable to explain to the dog why I wasn't able to hold him and caress him with both of my hands, since the dog was moving so much and excited that I was afraid to put my other hand on his head because I had keys in my hand, afraid the key would go in his eye or worse. And before I could put the keys in my pocket, they were gone. You gotta be kidding me moments were plenty with this man. This is a theater device again. Eve said, "Don't make noise." She, of course, must make noise. But she didn't earlier, so she is also cunning. Robe and cap because I wore his clothes and at some point or another. I loved it and he was so happy. I notice now that I watched I notice now that I watched the show, the sea captain has got a magnifying glass in his hand. That is a trademark of Matti. I don't know how I came up with ransom. Are you back again already? Tell fragments of the truth. I made him say that because that's what I did. Medication is of course explained in mumbo English, haha. There was nothing off about him in the last months of his life, nothing to suggest death was coming, or then I was or then I was blind to it. But I thought he had another 10 years at least in him. Something he'd right not do. I must add that because he was more than capable of misleading in so many ways. Fran just needs to be frantic about some dateline plot of a murder mystery and wife being murdered by husband to contrast the situation of Marta. And then I came up with the cousin working at medical examiner's office. She goes crazy and she kills herself is of course a reference to me. The stash needed to be under a clock because, well, clocks. That's an all around old guy's thing. I just want to eat an entire salmon spread. They have used the music exactly the way I would have wanted. When Harlan walks by her with Ransom, he really was that great. This machine unerringly arrives at the truth, another reference to the way Matti spoke. She, of course, feels the need to go near him as she sees him kill himself. Technically, it's her fault he kills himself because she failed to notice the liquids had been switched. The donut hole thing is just me exercising some creative license. Okay, we finally got to the end of this listing. So just feel free to comment on anything you find suspicious or you find delightful or whatever. I'm here for it. So, have a nice night.